What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric Coyle from New Orleans. I'm at Eric Michael Hair. And first off, I want to shout out Behind the Chair for putting this all together today. And today we're going to be doing a honey blonde, leaving good dimension, a flawless grow out. And I'm super excited to share some of my favorite tips, tricks, and formulas with you all. Y'all ready? Y'all want to get started? Let's rock. So earlier today, we lightened my model here, Alice, and I'm gonna show you right now my sectioning. We went in right here. We worked with a V pattern and also kind of a brick lay. So we went in with about 8 to 10 foils, and we went 1, 2, brick lay, 1, 2, brick lay here. And that's basically 10 foils is all we needed to achieve this beautiful, gorgeous dimension. And I just want to give y'all a visual of the raw lift that I'm looking for prior to toning. So I think your lift is everything with blondes, and also you want to leave some warmth in the hair. That's, I think, super, super important, especially when you're going for a honey blonde. You don't want to lift to that crazy level 10 because you want to have some type of pigment for the toner to adhere to. So we went in, like I said, 8 to 10 foils. That's all we needed to achieve all this beautiful dimension with this entire section. Less is more. That's my motto, and that's what we're going to be teaching today moving forward. So let's get right into it. Here, I like to leave this as a veil. Dark makes light pop. So here, all I'm going to be doing is doing a tip out here, and then we're going to get into why I call this my signature teardrop technique, which I'm super excited to show you. I think it actually covers a lot of ground, and less is more, again, like I said. So moving efficient, smart, and not making too much work for ourselves. Yeah, so Alice came in. She hasn't had her hair colored in almost a year, so she had about 7 to 8 inches of growth. And she had some brass going through, as you can see on some of these ends right here. So our goal is to marry the old with the new and create a beautiful, seamless, dimensional honey blonde. And you can kind of already see with us lightening that end how this is all gonna come together. And this is gonna be pretty epic, y'all. I'm pretty excited to show y'all this. So let's dive right into it. So right here, I'm gonna take a horizontal section, working in a V pattern, working up the head. So right here, I'm gonna start with my first foil. I always like nice tension, elevate my section out so I can see exactly how and where the hair is gonna lie. I don't like to manipulate too much. I think that's pretty important. Whenever you manipulate hair, I feel like you don't always get that end result that you thought you did in your mind. So I like to work a little bit smarter, I don't wanna make this tougher than it is. This is hair, it's organic, and I'm all about those lived-in looks, and I think that's pretty much where you wanna be. So here I'm holding my hair here, and one little trick I like doing, the hair will let you know what can and can't be colored. So if you notice a little shake here, you'll start to see these hairs popping out. That's kind of my reference as to where I like to start my tease. So here, I'm gonna take my weave, 2 fat weaves here, leaving a little bit of dimension. I don't ever like to have too much of a clutter when it comes to highlights. I don't like things to coincide and then you have kind of like not a tasteful flow. I like things to be a little bit more cohesive but still organic. So we're going in. I'm gonna start my tease right below the mid shaft of the hair. So we're going in, nice fluid strokes. And if you ever run into any resistance when you're teasing, a little trick, just push that tease wherever it stops, put your comb over, push forward, and then finish it off. I learned that from that little trick from my buddy Phil. And I always use a board. I think a board is key for me and my color and what I'm trying to achieve behind the chair. A board's a nice sturdy platform, and saturation is key, you guys. Like, that is so crucial, especially with these lived-in looks. You want to make sure that you are covering and saturating every inch of that hair. So I got my tees. I like to use a little clip here at the root. That's kind of a buffer for me. Whenever I'm painting, that gives me kind of an insurance, if you will, not to get things too messy at the root. So here I like to saturate, starting at the mid shaft, apply my product, and then there I have control. So now I know where my saturation's starting. And again, I think saturation's super key with these lived-in looks. So I'm pretty anal about that. I like to take a fine-tooth comb after I have my product applied. And this gives a pretty good visual as to saturation. A lot of times people may think that after that first application, you go in there, but as you can see, after I comb through, you see these dark pieces kind of pop up. That's letting me know where I need to work that product in a little bit more to have a nice, clean, even lift. So I got those ends saturated, and this is where the magic happens. I like to paint in high points. That's kind of the whole concept with this teardrop technique. So you see, I'm working in a V pattern, and you could see that blend going up. So on top of the tees, that's one level of blend. Then you have your V pattern painting up. That's another added level of blend. And then when you add that with a beautiful root melt, it's just left with a seamless look. Which, I mean, who doesn't want that? And less is more, like I said earlier. So I don't like to fold foils too much. Usually that's why I like working with the rolls. No matter the length of hair, it's covered. I feel like whenever I fold the foil too much, I get those creases and those lines, and it's an inconsistent lift for me. Watch your uncle over there.
Hey, Eric, we have our first question.
What's going on? What you got?
They are asking if you have any tips or advice for swelling when in foils.
For swelling, yes. I tend to, I always mix every 20 minutes. I don't like to use anything that's too diluted. And also, I find a thicker consistency for me, not too much, kind of like a paste or a little bit of a whip, kind of in between that tends to help me with my consistency and swelling. And also, excuse me, I think that's another thing is not folding the foil too much. I find years ago when I used to fold the foil 3 to 4 times, that's when I would get that swelling a lot. And then you get those bleed marks throughout the foil. One good fold and then sealing the deal on the ends, that's always worked for me. And honestly, I don't have much of a swelling issue with that. So that would be my tidbit or little tip to avoid those things. So again, working in a V pattern, taking 2 big fat weaves, because I always like to have some type of separation. And also, I'm working with Blonde Me 20 volume. And then when I go in with my tip out, I'll be using Blonde Me 30 volume. Get that tease nice and tight in there. Find my foundation where I want to start to see that brightness, and everything above that is going to be part of the blend. I would love to know in the comments, what do most of you stylists out there, what do you all struggle with when it comes to these lived-in looks? What are some of your challenges? Drop them in the comments, let me know.